hunt is on. Hey, kia ora. Helen Brahms here, coming to you live from Sun City in Arizona. Hope you're having a super fantastic, sparkling day. Welcome to Before the Dirt Nap podcast number 1338. The hunt is on again. And I can't remember last night if I told you then, or maybe it happened after that, but the offer was declined, which means we're back to hunting again, which is fine. And I was thinking, I'm running out of houses in one area of town. So we are stretching further afield and we are looking now in other areas, and got Zeffy booked in with the sitter this weekend. So we get to go hunting. We're going to do the ones that are close to where I am right now. We're going to do those on Friday. And then I told her I already had the whole day of Saturday blocked out. So we're going to go house hunting. I'm still trying to figure out what I'm going to do because Brad's birthday is coming up on a Thursday. And usually on his birthday, I sit and I watch either the Lord of the Rings trilogy, the Hobbit trilogy, or I break the Star Wars up into the first 3 episodes or episodes 4 through 6. Which were the original Star Wars movies. And so I've got it. And I thought, we've got it. And so, of course, the other day I was all excited because I was like, yes, we found the house. So I could do like episodes 1, 2, and 3 on Saturday, and on Sunday do 4, 5, and 6. And now I'm down to one day. Well, actually, no, we may be able to because we've got our times are currently booked in really early down in Buckeye. Well, we start at 9 o'clock in Buckeye. Not Ohio for you Ohio fans, Buckeye, Arizona. It's about as far west in Phoenix as you can get. And in fact, somebody told me today it was called East LA, and I'm sort of like, I don't think so. It's a little far away for that, but whatever. So now I'm kind of thinking, all right, if we get finished in Buckeye at a good time, because it's like a 30 to 40 minute drive from where I am down to where I need to go. And so I figured it would probably take me about an hour to get down there, an hour to get back, plus the looking time and that sort of stuff. And we usually through a house in like 15 minutes. You go in, you walk around, you stop, we talk about it, we talk about some of the features, what's included, what's not included. We may do another walk around again. Oh, I just need to check on this, I need to check on that. And so with all of that going on, if we do our first one at 9, we'll be finished. I'm trying to remember what our times are. Oh my goodness, I just put all the times in the calendar and now I can't remember. So our last one is currently tentatively scheduled for 10:30. So I figured I could be home by 12, and then I could still have time to do a movie fest in honor of Brad's birthday. I know it's going to be a couple of days late, but I have to work on Thursday. So the hunt is on again. And my philosophy is that, yes, we liked this place. We'll put the offer in. If it is meant to be, the offer will be accepted. The offer was not accepted, which means there is something even better out there for me. So how can you be discouraged or disappointed if a place that you thought that you really liked would be a great home, and you started like picturing in your head where you're going to be putting furniture and all of that sort of stuff, and figuring out, well, if I did this, and you start looking for all these little pieces and stuff, I can still do those pieces. But, the offer was declined, and I was sort of like, okay, that's fine, because it means that there is something better out there. So when something doesn't go according to plan, always remember that there is something better coming along. That wasn't the right time for you. That wasn't the right space for you. That wasn't the right place for you. It wasn't the right car. It wasn't the right truck. It wasn't the right house. It wasn't the right apartment, whatever. It wasn't the right time, and that wasn't the right thing for you. But remember this, there is something better coming down the pipeline. When will you get to it? Don't know. Will I find something this weekend that turns out to be the right place? Don't know. Have I looked at photographs of these houses? Absolutely, which is why I put them on the list and said, hey, can we go check these out? And of course, I'm now going through the MLS list, like when they have all the descriptions and everything, and they have all the property information, all the facts and figures and stuff. So I'm going through and I'm looking for solar panels. I'm looking for age restrictions, 55 plus communities, all the things that would disqualify. Is it a new build? And so I've been going down these lists, and there was one place that I put on the list because I actually sent 4 for Buckeye to Ashley to say, hey, let's have a look at these. And one of them she didn't set the appointments for. And I'm like, she hasn't got that street on there. Why? So I go into Zillow, I go into realty.com, I go on Home Partners of America. I think that was a lot. I went to pull up the listings in there, and I'm going through that thing with a fine-tooth comb. And then I thought, well, maybe I missed it. So I type in age so I do a find thing, type in age. Nothing comes up for age restrictions. I'm like, okay, solar, nothing. There is no mention of solar. There is no mention of it being in an age. Well, it can't have been anyway because I saw kids' toys in the house. So I knew it wasn't an age-restricted community. And so now I'm thought, right, there's got to be something about this place. Maybe it's not in the right area, but it was close to one of the other ones we're going to go look at. And I'm like, okay, so it can't be that. What else could it be? And so as I start going through the pictures, there's this funny thing that showed up on one of them at the front of the house, and it was very, very low profile. And I looked at it and went, it's got solar panels. Crap. Right there at the top of the picture, on top of the garage, which I had totally missed before because they were very low profile. But I'm going through these photographs with a fine-tooth comb now. There's got to be something about this place. And there were solar panels on the roof of the garage at the front of the house. And then when I was in the back, when I was on the photos of the back of the house, looking at and they didn't have it up high so you could see them. They're taking the picture from down here. So the roof's up here on a slight angle. And so you just see it. And then you go into the back, and then you go to the pictures of the backyard. Same thing. The photo's taken down here so that it's almost like they were trying to hide the fact that it had solar panels on it. And I was like, that's sneaky. Oh, well, that place isn't meant for me. There's something better coming along. But this one had a fantastic backyard. It had artificial turf on, had this huge patch of artificial turf that Zeffie would have loved. It had this other area she would have loved running around in as well. So she had it was a huge backyard for her, just from looking at the photos and stuff. And there was a really good covered patio out the back. So as soon as I saw those solar panels, I was like, damn it. And I thought, nope. Something better is coming along. Maybe it's one of these 6 houses we're going to see this weekend. I don't know. I won't know until I go in them. I won't know until I get the feel of these places, until I get my little checklist out and check off all my pieces. I know and actually there's a really cool thing because some of the places I'm looking in, it has a floor plan to the side. And it's an interactive floor plan. And what this floor plan, and it has the measurements of the rooms on them. And this is the really coolest thing, is that it has these little squares. And when you click on the square, it will take you to that photograph in the pile of photographs that they have there for you to look through. And it's got these little things that come out from the square like this to show you which direction that you're looking at the room from. So if you're standing on the spot where the square is, now I'm looking in this direction. So this is the angle of that room that I'm seeing. So that was kind of cool to go through and click through that. But the cool part was that you got to see the measurements of the room, so you know how big the rooms are. These are, I would tell this in Buckeye, for the same price of what I was looking at in Surprise, I'm getting more floor space. I may still only be 3 bedrooms, but I'm getting more floor space. And there's one house that I really want to have a look at, because you walk in and there's a living room there. Then you go past the wall and there's this great room with the dining area and the kitchen. And I'm like, because I want open plan where I've got a kitchen, dining, family room area where you can all see everything. So it's great entertaining space. But then you have this room that you come into when you open the door. And I was like, that room was 20 something feet long and 17 feet wide. And I'm like, that's bigger than the family room we had back east, which was a pretty big family room. And I'm like, and it's 3 bedroom. And I thought, okay, I could put my office and my craft area in that entire space. And so then I was like, maybe when you come in, there is now a hall that you go down before, so you're not opening the door and seeing the office and the craft space, but maybe with the use of furniture like bookcases and screens, I could create a hallway that you go down to about half the length of this thing, and then you can turn into the office and craft space area. I thought, ooh, that would be good. So, I'm starting to think of things like this as I'm going through these photographs. Like, okay, this is where this and especially those ones that had the floor plans. That was an awesome idea. I don't know who came up with it, but it's an awesome idea to have the floor plan over the side here. You can click on the button, and it takes you to that photograph, and you can see which angle it was taken from. And so I'm looking at this floor space in this one particular house that we're going to be seeing, and I'm like, yeah, then what do I do with room 3? I'm sort of like, I don't care, I'll figure it out. For now it can be a storeroom. And like I'm looking at the bedroom 2 and 3, and I'm like, okay, this is the bigger of the 2 rooms, so that will be my guest room 1. If I do this office / craft area over in this particular area of the house. So I'm just sort of like, and then I like look at another one, and it's got this really great open floor plan too. And I think one of the ones I go through tomorrow, you're looking from the kitchen, and you're looking through these almost two different family areas, because the dining area is off to the side here in the kitchen. It's an eating kitchen. I've got plenty of space there for my table by the looks of the photographs. Won't know until we actually walk the space. But you look over the breakfast bar, and like there's this family room area, and then there's another family room area beyond that. And they just flow into each other. And I'm like, how can we use these spaces? So it's kind of fun when you, and one of the places comes with a Ring doorbell and cameras, security cameras, and there's a little monitor there, and you can see all the cameras on it. And I'm like, well, that would be fun. I'll probably spend more time watching that than I do watching movies. I'll sit Zeffie in front of it, and she can keep an eye on the place. It could be where she patrols from. But you're going through these houses, and there's all these great ideas and now that I know that other place wasn't for me and there's something better out there, now I'm looking at it from the perspective of, if I lived in this house, how would I utilize this space? And the ones that have the really good photographs make it really easy. The ones where you go in and it seems like they're standing in the middle of the room and there's just a picture of the corner of a room, it's sort of like, yeah, that doesn't give you any idea at all. Some people need to learn how to take photographs of houses to put them at their best advantage. Standing in a doorway is better than standing in the room and taking a picture of a corner. Just saying. But yeah, so some people do need to look at some of the photographs. Like there was one place I was going through, I was so lost in the photographs. I was just like, I'm out of there. I can't figure the photographs out. I don't even know what room I'm looking at. I mean, some of it's kind of obvious that this is the master bedroom. This is, bedroom 1 and, the other 2 bedrooms, but you may not know which is 2 and 3, but it doesn't matter. You still get an idea of the size. And some of them they put pictures in a particular, and most of them put pictures in a particular order. And like when you're going through the photographs, that it's almost like you're walking through the house. Some of them are very smart and do it in like, okay, we're going to walk through the house. We're going to start at the front door, and we're going to walk through the house. And here's the kitchen, and here's the hallway, and here's these bedrooms, and you can kind of follow the flow. Other ones, here's a picture of the backyard, here's a picture of the front yard, here's a picture of the kitchen, here's a picture of this bedroom, here's a picture of a closet, here's a picture of a bathroom, here's a picture of the kitchen. They're all over the place. They're in no particular, they just uploaded some photographs and left them there. And some of them aren't the greatest photographs. But it's all part of the hunt. It's all part of the fun. I love it. I'm enjoying this journey because I'm sort of discovering what do I like. And I'm sort of like, as I'm going through, I'm also thinking about how I can simplify things too, because I've been living in an RV, very limited space. Yes, I have clutter, which is slowly disappearing. I've got clutter, and it's sort of like, okay, how can I not clutter up? I'm going to have a bigger space. How can I not clutter it up? And it was actually kind of interesting because I was talking with our dog sitter, and she's such an incredible person, and we're in sync on a lot of things, on a lot of thoughts and ideas and stuff. And so she was talking, and so when I was telling her, she said, "Oh, how did the house hunt go?" I said, "Well, we found this place. We're going to put an offer in on it." And she goes, she asked me a question about the master bedroom. Which direction does it face? And which direction does the head of the bed go on? And I said, well, it's this orientation as far as the direction goes. The front of the house faces this direction. And she's like, okay. And I'm like, why? And she says, oh, well, I studied feng shui for bedrooms. And gave me some information on that. And she's got the kids' rooms set up so that they are optimal sleep and optimal learning for the energy flow. I'm like, oh, this is interesting. And found out that, we should put the head of the bed at the south, on the south wall, or facing south, with the head of the bed facing south, because that helps you line up with your polarity, with the Earth's magnetic polarities or something. But if you're in the southern hemisphere, you have to have the bed facing north. And I was like, well, isn't that interesting? That's got to do something with the equator and all that sort of stuff. And it was just interesting. And I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool. And so I started reading more about feng shui for bedrooms. And they're sort of saying, like, you don't have them cluttered, you don't put electronics in there. And I'm like, well, that's okay, because I don't have, I do have the TV in there, but that's mounted in there. I very rarely have it on. It's only when I'm folding laundry. But the phone doesn't stay in the bedroom. The phone is out here on the stands, on the charger and thing at night. And so that was kind of interesting reading that. And I thought, well, and then you don't put bookcases in there because it clutters the space. And I'm thinking, okay, well, if I put my recliner in there, because this was a huge room, so bed on the southern wall, which was the back of the house, put a recliner in this corner, and then have a dresser there, but have one of those small little bookcases, just a small little fancy desk organizer / bookcase thing that you can have sitting there. And I can have my morning meditation and devotional materials sitting there. And in the morning when I get up, I go sit in that corner. And I may have like a one of those audio players or something that we'll put on, and I will bring into the room at that point my Bluetooth speaker on my phone, so I can have the music playing that I have playing when I do my morning devotions and meditation. And I thought, I could do that from the comfort of my recliner. And if I have to do any like sitting with my legs crossed or anything like that, I can do that on the floor, because I'd have the space for that. And so I was thinking through all these little things in my head and looking at different things, and I thought, distressed furniture sounds really good. I have one of those distressed dresses there, and I have this thing, and I found this really cool bamboo stand that would have gone beautifully with distress. So, the hunt is on, but at the same time, the hunt is creating creativity in other areas and thinking, how can I, I'm going to be in a bigger space. How can I not prevent myself, but how can I live simply in a bigger space than what I'm living now? So it's kind of interesting to see how that's all evolving. And so when I'm looking through these houses, I'm now looking with specific purposes in mind, rather than just a house to live in. It's like, okay, in the kitchen, where would I have my beverage center? So I would have my kettle, because I do tea, mainly tea. I don't have a coffee maker. So, and other people would think, okay, where do we put the coffee maker? Well, where would I put my beverage center? And my beverage center would have my electric kettle for boiling my water. Then I'd have my Vitamix there as well for making up my smoothies. And in the cupboard above, I would have my protein powders. And I want it near the fridge, because in the fridge, I would have my protein packs. And I'm going to start pre-planning out my protein shakes by putting together containers that have my fruits and vegetables in it. So I know that when I pull that one out of the fridge or the freezer, depending on whether I want it defrosted or not, I can dump that in there, put the coconut water in there, put my protein powder in there, blend it all up, drink it down, and we're good to go for the day. And so I'd have it portion size. And so I'm thinking, and you'd have a real freezer. So then you could start doing this and this. And so I'm starting to plan out, I'm looking at the kitchen counter space. I want space that I can bake and cook on. But I also want this little beverage center that has my electric kettle on there, and it has my Vitamix there. And that's my beverage center. And above, or probably below, because the containers for the protein powder are big. They'll probably go down below. But up above, I'd have my glasses and my cups and my tea. So I'm starting to think of things like this. It's like, okay, where would I put this? Where would I put that? My Instapot, where am I going to put that? Well, that could probably go in the bottom of the pantry until I need it and I can get it out of there. And with my air fryer, that would go somewhere on the counter near the oven, maybe. I don't know. So I'm starting to think through these things. So now when I'm house hunting online via photographs, I'm looking with specific purposes in mind. and I'm looking at different photographs going, okay, what would I use this space for? What I use? So, like this room where you go in and you open up the door and there's the big living room area, and then you go beyond that and you've got a family room and dining and kitchen area with a bar, with a breakfast bar there as well from the kitchen, and everything's open and anybody in the family room can see what's going on in the kitchen can see what's going on everywhere else. So like, okay, so what can I use this space for? And now I've got a third bedroom, and it's like, what would I put in the third bedroom? Would I make it up as a second guest room? I don't know. Maybe I'll just and I thought, well, storage stuff will go in the garage. And I'm like, heat. Got to remember, Arizona gets hot. So we can't put things in the garage unless I know exactly what's in those boxes and will heat affect them. So the third bedroom may become a storage unit for now as far as the boxes go, as I go through the boxes. But I'm also like, when I get into the house and everything arrives, I need to know exactly where to direct the movers to put certain things. And once those things are in place, everything else goes in this particular space. And then my goal is to have, to open up X number of boxes per day. I'm going to then set a goal based on once I get the room set up and then see what I've got left to unpack, how much time am I going to allocate each day or once a week, where this is what I'm doing during that time. So there's a lot of planning going on right now, and I'm not even in a house yet. But the houses will be planned by then. So I'm super excited for this weekend, for Friday night and Saturday morning right now, because I get to go house hunting. And then on Saturday afternoon, I can start watching movies in honor of Brad's birthday, which is actually on Thursday. And Sunday, I can watch whatever movies whatever I decide to watch this weekend. Whatever I don't watch on Saturday, I will watch on Sunday, or I'll just watch the whole stuff straight through if it means I'm going to bed at 3 o'clock in the morning, if I'm still awake, and get up the next morning and finish it off. So yeah. And, I've seen these movies often enough that I can actually sit there and just go through things and write things down. And there's often times that I'm watching movies, especially if it's movies I've seen multiple times, I'll be sitting there either crocheting or knitting or writing or reading. Yes, I do read while I watch movies, and I can fully understand everything and comprehend everything, and I know exactly where in the movie I am, and I know what's happening in the book, especially if it's fiction. Used to confound. Brad was so lost when I could sit there and read a book. And he's going, oh, Helen, you got to watch this scene. I says, why do I need to watch that scene? This is da-da-da-da-da. And he'd have it paused, and I'll go, why do I need to watch that? I know what's going on. How many times have we seen this movie? And of course, I know when certain scenes are coming up that I want to watch. And so I know when they come up, so I'll stop, I'll watch, and I'll go back to reading again. But I've noticed that when I watch Brad's movies, I tend to concentrate on the movie. I don't really do anything else. But knitting and crochet I can do while I'm watching movies. So since I won't have a dog in the house that likes to bat the balls of yarn around like a cat does, maybe I'll get some crochet done this weekend. Who knows? It's all open. But anyway, I'm out of here. I got a pup that would like to go for a WALK. She's currently sitting up. Something's got her attention out the window again. She's out that way. So we shall see. But anyway, like I said, the hunt is on again. It's always good when the hunt is on. How do you, when you're house hunting, what things do you look for in a house? Do you plan, if you're looking at the photographs online, do you start planning where stuff will go, or wait until you see the space to decide on that? So let me know your thoughts. I'd love to know your thoughts about house hunting in the comments below, whether you're renting, whether you're purchasing a house. What are some of the things that you look for? And when you start seeing the photographs, especially if they've got a floor plan in with the photographs as well, whether it's interactive or just the floor plan in as a photograph, so that you get some idea of the size of the rooms and what photos you're looking at. Do you start planning where furniture is going to be placed, what rooms are going to be used for? Let me know your thoughts below, because I'd love to know how people house hunt, what things that you look for, planning that you do before you go to the house, planning that, what are you looking for when you get to the house, what's on your absolute, we won't look at a house if there's no, if the house does not have, and this is a complete non-negotiable, if the house does not have a fully fenced backyard and the fence is made out of concrete blocks and at least 6 foot high, we ain't, and it doesn't have a swimming pool, and it doesn't have a swimming pool, then I'm not interested in the house. It has to have that fully enclosed backyard area for Zeffie. And if it's got those horrible rocks down that she doesn't like, I will find a way to cover those up with some fake, the AstroTurf or whatever, so that she can at least walk on them, or find a way to like get in there and sweep some of the sides so she's got a dirt area to run around in. But as long that's non-negotiable. It has to be a concrete brick wall, at least 6 foot high. It's going to have good gates on it and be fully enclosed in the backyard area so that Zeffie's got room to run around in. That's my one non-negotiable. I told that to Ashley, and she's like, "Got to take care of the pup, the little princess." I said, "Absolutely." But if she doesn't have an area outside to run around, I'm not interested. Some of them have some great backyards and great patio areas, but they have those little half walls. So it's just like around the edge of the patio, and that's it, and everything else is wide open to the rest of the neighbors. As much as the house, the house may be gorgeous and beautiful and be exactly what we're looking for, but that backyard had that half wall and it didn't have any gates. So Zeffie could have just hopped over the half wall and gone off and visited all the neighbors down the entire block. Not for this girl. So anyway, have a super fantastic sparkling evening, and we will catch you guys back here tomorrow evening around 6 p.m. Pacific. Hei konera.